capture. Did you get the notification that it's a recording now? It is recording now, huh?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So that's why I mentioned earlier the use of this timeline is very important in finance, right? So this is the same case as the bond calculation just now, right? So let's say you are here in the present day, right? Year zero. You have the sequence of payment that are waiting to be received in the future, right? Let's say this is the 30 years that we mentioned just now, right? Who was asking just now? Bailo, right? Bailo. So we know that at the end of after 30 years, we're going to receive back our, how many just now? 10K, right? 10K payment that we borrow to the bond issuer, right? When you purchase a bond, remember, when you purchase a bond, meaning that you are lending money to the party who's selling the bond to you. Is it clear? Right? So in the case of in this example, let's say you buy a bond from, let's say, Khazanah, right? So Khazanah issue a bond that worth with a face value of 10,000, right? So after 30 years, right, until the maturity, this is what we call as the maturity. So Khazanah is entitled to give back you the principal money, right? The face value, what we call as the face value, right, of 30K, right? But in along the way, before we reach 30 years, as investors, we are entitled to receive the coupon payment. Let's say if it's an annual coupon payment, then every year you will receive at least 30 sequence of 5%. We mentioned about 5% just now, right? So that's basically the structure of the bond issuance. The same thing, when you learn about Sukuk issuance, is also the same thing, right? You're going to receive, because it is a fixed income instrument, you're going to receive the difference. The only difference between Sukuk and bond is the underlying structure, the underlying contract that they use, right? One is basically an interest-based transaction in the coupon, in the bond issuance. And the Sukuk issuance is basically involve a lot of different type of contract. You have a Sukuk Ijara, you have a Sukuk Musharaka, Mudarabah, and so on. You will learn this in the future, right? So now what we're going to be focusing in specific now is that we are concerned about how much we're going to pay here, right? When we have this kind of information, right? We know that after 30 years, we're going to get 10K back, right? The face value that we receive, right? And we know that 5% is our profit, is our coupon, right? We're entitled to receive this, right? So this is where we're going to do the process of what we call as discounting process, right? I think you heard about this. I mean, as a finance student, you hear about the term of discounting, right? So this discounting mean here is that we're going to bring back the future payment to the present time, right? In order for us to calculate the pricing, all right? Any other questions so far before I move to the calculation?
So like my question here, are we calculating the future value or the present value?
We are calculating the present value, right?
But we have the present value 10,000 already at year zero.
No, 10,000 is the face value. Don't confuse with face value and present value. Face value, yeah, okay. So because okay, sorry. Okay, we know that after 30 years, we're going to get back the 10K, right? But that's why in a bond issuance, when we purchase this bond, it's not necessarily we purchase at 10K, right? We could purchase at discounted price. We can purchase at 9K, for example, right? But at the end, what matters is the coupon payment, right? We can also purchase bond at a premium price. We can purchase bond at, let's say 11,000, right? But still at the end, we're going to receive the face value of 10,000, right? Meaning that the coupon rate is going to be higher in this case, right? Because at the end you are purchased at the premium price, right? So again, bond price is determined by the market force, supply and demand of that bond issuance, right? So meaning but there was also bond issued at the face value. If you issue at or trading at the face value, meaning that you are selling or buying at $10,000, right, which is the same as a face value. But don't confuse with present value and also the face value. It's a two different thing, right? Face value is actually the amount that you're going to recoup back from the lender, the bond issuer, right? Okay.
So how about the interest?
The interest I mentioned earlier, the 5%, is going to be calculated on the face value, right? Not at the present value, at the face value. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know the calculation is going to be a bit difficult. I mean, quite complex, right? But for your level now, you don't have to worry about whether is the bond is sold at a discounted or a premium price. Don't worry about that, but just get yourself familiar with this kind of term: present value, future value, right? And also the face value. Right? So you need to understand the concept. Any other question that you want to ask?
Okay. Can I try to explain back, because maybe
sure, Mina.
Misunderstand. So basically, if the face value is 10,000, the coupon is 5%, and I got discount, right, to purchase the bond. For example, I got the price of 8,000.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. If you paid 8,000 for the bond, but your face value is going to be 10,000, meaning that you buy the bond at a discounted price.
Okay,
right?
So every year I will get 5% from the 10,000 face value.
Right, you're correct. Yeah, you're
And
right.
at the end of the terms,
Yeah,
I will get 10,000, and
yeah,
with the previous 5% each year.
yeah, right. That's how you make money as bond investors, bond holders, right? Okay, Amira, and the rest. That's just the structure of the bond issuance, right? So now let's just follow the slide again, right? Or maybe I can explain you this concept, right? Maybe you need to be you need to visualize this, right? Let's say when you want to apply the concept of time. Sorry, let me just right. Time value of money, right? I always use this analogy, right? So let me ask you this question, right? Let's say let's say you have $1,000, right, in your pocket. I say your pocket money, right? And now somebody gave you another, let's say, a euro of 100, right? Euro of 100, right? It's a two different currency, right? So can anyone tell me about how much is the value, that the amount of money that you have now? Quickly, just quickly, randomly give me a number. Can I say that I got now I got $200? Is it fair for me to say that I got $200 now?
No, I think no.
You're not, you didn't agree with that, right, Kutaiba? Why? What is the reason?
Because dollar value and the pound value, I think it's not the same.
It's just not the same, right? This is, you know that this does not equal in terms of the value, right?
Yes.
So
right.
So hence, I cannot say that I actually have $200 now, because one of the way to calculate how much money I have now, first, either I need to convert the euro to dollar first, right? Then I sum the amount and then I know how much dollar I have, right? Or either I convert these two currency into one single other currency, right? Like rupiah or something, then I know how much I get it, right? So you now you have that kind of understanding when it comes to currency, right? Because you know that two different currency does not have the same value, right? So I want you to have the same understanding, right? Or I would say that the same perception when it comes to a dollar today and also a dollar tomorrow, right? Because a dollar today will not be valued at the same amount as a dollar tomorrow, right? So that's what the concept of time value of money, right? Because you heard about this term, right? A dollar today will be worth more than a dollar tomorrow, because we know that we have the concept of what we have now. People are talking about inflation, right? Inflation. So we know that a dollar at year zero, a dollar at present day at year zero, right, will not be equal to a dollar in the next year. Anyone agree? Can we establish this fact, right? So the same thing, that's why we need to use the concept of present value, right? Because remember, the present value, the objective is that in the case of bond just now, we have many sequence of a cash flow, the future cash flow, right? That's why we need to discount them back to the value of today, right? So that's the objective of present value of money, right? Okay, let's anyone. So now you get the thinking, the way of thinking now. Clear? Do I need to further explain this? No, right? Okay, so far,
No.
Amira.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, understand.
All right, understand. So that's the, so because you cannot just rely on the calculation. If you just memorize the calculation, it's no good. It's no use, right? So you need to understand why you do the calculation first, right? So this is why we do the calculation, right? So that's why I already mentioned to you in our class that having a timeline is very important, right? Because you need to know where exactly the payment will take place, right? Because I mentioned to you, in finance, time is very important, right? If you miscalculation not only the amount, but also you misidentify which year or which period that the payment is going to take place, and then that will result in a wrong pricing calculation, right? So that's why you have to rely on this timeline. Okay, so you have many type of timeline. In the case of bond, this look like very familiar, right? Because bond will always give a fixed payment, right? Fixed. I mean the fixed amount of future cash flow, right? Yeah, in practice, they also have a flexible coupon bond with flexible coupon rate, right? But that is very rare, right? It's really rare. So we assume that now we have a fixed coupon payment, right? So what are the inverse of future value? So now, just now, somebody was asking about the future, whether we are calculating the present value or future value, right? So the inverse of discounting. So now everyone is clear about the term of discounting, right? When we want to calculate the present value. So the inverse of or the reverse version of present value is what we call as the future value, right? The process of calculating the future value is what we call as compounding, right? You heard about the concept of compounding, right? Compounding interest and so on, right? Because the job now, when you want to calculate the future value, is that you need to compound the present or the sequence of cash flow, in order for you to find what will be the future value, let's say in the next 30 years, right? So is the reverse version of present value. Okay, anyone have a question so far? Good, all good about the concept? Okay.
Yes, doctor. It's
All
clear.
right. I give you a simple or simplest example is about you depositing a money in a bank account, right? Let's say you open a saving account with $100 with you, right? So because you know that we learn about the concept of inflation, right? So if you receive 5%, like for example, the bank will give you, let's say, bank say that if you deposit your money in our saving account, we will give you 5% returns on your deposits, right? So the job or for you as a depositor, you have to ensure that the inflation rate will be lower than 5%. If it's a lower than 5%, you are in the safe hand, right? But if it's greater than 5%, meaning that your return in your saving in the banks is no good. Right? That's why people are afraid of inflation. We're talking about inflation now, post-COVID, right? So deposit calculating the returns for deposit is an example of for calculating the future value. So let's say you have $100, right? So banks is promise you 5%. How much is 5% of $100? Quickly, anyone?
5.
ringgit, right? Well, $5, right? So after 1 year, you will get 105. So this is what we call as compounding. So you will see that your money is growing because of the interest effect, right? The interest rate effect. Okay. Anyone clear so far? So it's easy, right? I mean, the compounding is make more sense for us, right? But present value is actually a reverse of future value. But sometimes we don't, we are not close with that example in our daily life. So that's why it's very difficult to understand. But it's actually a reverse version of it, right? So the formula you can get here, right? So the future value is actually the present value. How much is the present value? Is the $100 that you deposited in the bank, right? So 100 present value times by 1 plus interest rate to the power of the investment period, right? Which is denoted by N here. So this is the formula here. If I can write here, right? So you should remember this by heart, right? In the future, as a finance student, this should be on your hand already, right? So future value is equal to present value times by 1 plus interest rate to the power of N. Any questions so far that you want to ask, right? So let's say you have $100 now, you times by 1 plus 0.05 to the power of 1. If you press your calculator, it will give you straight answer of 105, right? So you can imagine the longer the amount you keep in your deposit account, if the interest rate is going to be higher and higher, so meaning that the money here will grow very much at a faster rate, right? Because of the inflation effect here and also the maturity effect here, right? I show you, you can go through your example by yourself, right? Okay, sorry. Yeah, you can see the graph here, right? So at the faster interest rate, the faster the money that you grow, right? So now come back to the present value because we are concerned about bond pricing now, right? So what is the how to calculate the present value is to find the inverse of present value. Sorry, how to calculate the present value is to find the inverse of future value, right? So meaning that you have to, in terms of if you are familiar with the mathematical procedure, is that you have to bring the present value to this side and then bring the future value to this side, right? So let's do that. So if we do that, right? So present value will be equal to, right? Future value, sorry, I need space, right? So is it okay, right? Okay. Divided by 1 plus interest rate to the power of n, right? Or we can further, or we can write in this manner, right? 1 plus 1% to the power of n, right? So this is what we call as a, sorry, I should have used my pen. It's very bad. This is what we call as the discount factor, right? Why we call it as discount factor? Because we're going to use this percentage here, because after you do the calculation, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.5 to the power of 1, you will get something in the percentage, right? So do we use, or you get something in the, or you can convert in decimal as well. So we're going to use this percentage here to discount what? To discount the future value that we're going to receive, right? So you can imagine now, the bond, in the case of bond just now, right? We have a sequence of payment that is going to take place in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 30 years, right? So we're going to discount all the 30 sequence of coupon that we're going to receive using the discount factor here, right? So that's why we call it as a discounting process to find the future value, right? Because we need to know how much we are willing to pay, right? Any questions so far about the formula? Okay. This is the time that you have to ask any question. I mean, Amira, okay?
Yeah, I do understand.
Huh? You don't understand?
Yes,
Okay.
so basically is this the same or what?
It's not the same. It's just like you reverse the question. Okay, I'll give you the same situation just now, right? About depositing a money, right? So we
Okay.
know that Amira, we know that, let's say if we put $100 in a saving account, right? The bank promised us 5%. How much is we're going to receive in the next 1 year? We're going to receive $100 and 5. Right? Because you know the calculation, right?
Yes.
$100 you times by 1 plus 0.5, right? Because you're going to receive a 5% and extra 5% from the deposited $100 here, right? As your profit, as your return as a depositor. Am I right? Okay, so that's why you got $100 and 5, right? So now which one is the present value? Tell me.
100.
So 100 is the present value, right? Which one is the future value?
105.
So 105 is the future value, right? So this is the interest rate.
Yes.
Am I right? Right. Okay, this is the compounding factor.
Okay.
Right? 1 plus I to the power of n.
Okay.
Right? 1 plus interest rate in decimal to the power of n. Right? So meaning that if you keep another $100 for the next year, you will replace replace n by 2. Right? Because the money will be keep compounding, will be keep growing in the future. All right. So now your question is now is that, is present value similar to future value? The answer is not, right? Because you see the amount is different. You are talking about present value, you are talking about the present day, right? How much money that you have at present day? How much money that we have at present day that you have to deposit? $100, right? So meaning that you need to have $100 to be deposited in a bank account for you to have a money of 105 in the next year, right? So that's the concept of present value. So I can twist a bit the situation, right? So let's say I want to find out how much money I need to have now, then I need to deposit in my account if I want to have 110 in the next year, right? So after 1 year, I want my money to grow to 110, right? At 5% of interest rate. So the question is now is that I need to find out at the present day, I mean this year, how much I need to have and how much I need to deposit in my bank account so that after 1 year, I will get $110, right? So that's a different situation, right? The first situation is that you know that you have $100, but you want to find out how much the money will grow after 1 year, right? So that's finding the present value. Am I right? Sorry, finding the future value, right?
Okay.
But in the second situation, I know that, yeah, I have the target. I know that I want to have a future value of 110. And then I know that bank will give me
5%.
what? 5%. But the question that I'm looking now is that how much I need to, how much money I need to have,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that I can deposit in my bank account, then I can get $110.
Oh, okay, understand.
All right. So you can see that it's just a reversal of one
Yes.
another. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. Right. So which one is applicable in the bond issuance context? Which one? Which situation?
Present value?
The second situation, right?
Yes.
Because same case in the bond issuance, I know that I'm going to receive the future certain amount of money, right? But I don't know how much money I need to pay now to purchase the bond. Same case as the second situation. That's why compounding is just an inverse or reverse of a discounting process, right? So you get the idea now,
Yes, yes.
right? So but when we talk about pricing of financial instrument like bond or stocks or any other financial instrument, we always rely on the present value. That's why you always heard about the terms like discounted cash flow. You will learn this in the next class. So you take the financial management analysis, you will learn this, right? Discounted cash flow, the present value, right? So the job now for your preparation in the prerequisite class, I just want you to be familiar with this term, right? So that when you go into financial management class or if you take Islamic capital market, so that you will not be shocked. You still can see the application. So that's only the objective of this course, right? Okay, Amira. So let's say let's try to solve this, right? Let's have anyone, Amira. Let's say Amira. So now tell me how are we going to solve this? How are we going to find how much money that I need to have now, right? So we can use the situation now, right? So we can use the present. Let's say we use the present value formula first, right? Okay, it's very challenging to not have the 1 plus I to the power of n, right? How much is the future value in this case, Amira? 100.
Future value 110.
So 110, right? Okay, let me just 110 equal to, do we know the present value? We want to find the present value, right? So this is what we want to find. Times by 1 plus 0.05 to the power of
N.
1. Because we only concerned about what's going to happen within 1 year period, right? Okay, all right. So tell me how we're going to solve this, right? So this is, let me just, to avoid confusion, let me just keep this as a present value, right? PV, right? So how are we going to solve this quickly? We're going to bring this to this side, right? So we're going to have if you want to find the present value, we have to
110.
Yeah. 0.05 to the power of 1, right?
Okay.
So what is this? What is 110 is the future value, right? 1 plus I to the power of n. So isn't it the formula that we are looking at just now? It is, right? right? So you can use your calculator quickly. So make sure you have a calculator during your exam, otherwise you will have a. So how much you get? Anyone?
95.2.
Huh? 95?
Yeah.
So 110 divided by 1 plus 0.05.
It's 104.
Yeah, 100 and come again. 4.76, right? So you realize that this is what you got. So you realize that I mentioned earlier, $1 today will be worth more than $1 tomorrow. So what is $1 tomorrow? Is $110, right? But how much is the $1 today? The equivalent, how much 110 equivalent in the dollar terms today is the $104.105, right? So you see that the value of the present dollar is very much more than $100.10, right? So meaning that if you want to go to a shopping market, like you go to Tesco or whatever, right? If you want to purchase a full basket of items, if you pay your full basket of item today, you only have to pay $105, right? But if you wait until next year, then you're going to buy the same item, full basket of item. How much you going to pay, Amira?
110.
110. That's why I said that $1 today will be
Different.
worth more than $1 tomorrow. So that's the concept of time value of money. Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Right. Okay. So that's basically the application of time value of money in finance. Okay. So that's why, remember I asked you about the different currency. So the same thing as a dollar today and a dollar tomorrow, they are not equal in the value, right? So that's what you need to build up the attitude if you're a finance student, you need to have that kind of attitude, right? So you will value $1 today more than $1 tomorrow, right? So as a bondholder, right, the same thing, right? If you have a bond that give the same return in a 30 years, and then you have another one that give you a same return but in 20 years, which bond that you will price more, bond A or bond B? You will price the bond B more, right? Because it gives you a faster repayment. Am I right? Okay. Anyone have a question? I hope it is clear now about the concept of time value of money, right? Okay. Amira, Munira, Kutaiba, Bailo, Sundus, Mahmoud.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So I don't need to go through the remaining slides, right? You don't have to go through as well, right? I'm not ridiculous enough to ask you this kind of question, right? This is too heavy for you, but it's just for the sake of your information. Right? Perhaps you may want to focus on bond calculation, right? So let's look at the example. It's just an application of what we learned in the present value, right? Let's go to the what we call as the example right away, right? Because you already understand the situation, right? Hold on, give me 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes is too long. 3 minutes. I need to check something. In the meantime, you can think about a question that you don't understand that you can ask me, right? Okay. Okay. Any question before I give you? We going just we will look at the example of pricing of coupon bond. It's just an application of what we learned about the present value just now. But now we are going to calculate the price for the bond, right? Any question that you want to ask before I go to the example? Amira, okay, eh? So
Yeah,
far?
okay. Okay.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Okay. Let's just go through this question. Sorry, not question. The example. Then we can finish the. Okay, right. So we have gained an understanding about the present value, right? So now we're going to apply this concept of discounting and present value when we want to calculate the coupon bond, right? So I don't have to explain to you what I mean by coupon bond, right? Coupon bond means that you're going to receive a fixed amount of coupon at a certain period of time, right? So let's say we have an example here. Suppose we are going to purchase a 10-year corporate bond, which has an 8% annual coupon. So every year, right, for the next 10 years, this bond will pay you as investors a coupon of 8%, right? And it has a $1,000 of face value, meaning that after 10 years, you as an investor, you're going to receive the face value, the principal value of ringgit, right? So if you want to imagine, I always advise you to draw this kind of timeline, right? So it's not for the sake of getting marks or whatnot, but at least you can visualize the stream of the payment, right? So let's say you have 10 years, right? From year zero, you can pay attention on this why the pen is quite big. All right, okay, right? So pay attention on this timeline here, right? So let me just, okay, sorry, because it's taking space, right? Okay, so from year zero, right? Let me just change the color. From year zero until year 10, right? You're going to receive a 8% out of $1,000 of ringgit of a face value. Okay, quickly calculate how much 8% of 1,000.
80.
80, right? 80 ringgit of coupon payment, meaning that every year for the next 10 years, you will get 80 ringgit of coupon payment, right, Kutaiba? Until the maturity. Okay, right? So what happened in the maturity is that the bond issuer will reimburse back your $1,000, right? And then they will retire the bond. That's it, right? Meaning that the bond issuer will no longer owe you a money, right? So that's why what is the profit of the bond holder, the bond purchaser, the bond investors is the sequence of 80 ringgit for the next 10 years plus the $1,000 of face value, right? But of course the profit is only the interest, right? But at the end of 10 years, this is how much money that you will get, right? So you will see that you have two component of payment here, right? That you have to calculate the present value. The first component of the payment is basically the coupon payment, the sequence of the coupon payment, right? The second component is the face value, right? Because you have to discount the face value to the present day. Okay, so far? So far, understand the strategy, the step that we need to do. The first is that you need to discount the principal payment, right? Because in this case, we're going to receive 1,000 ringgit after 10 years, right? So the question now is that how much is this 1,000 ringgit worth now? To answer that, we need to find the present value of the face value. Clear so far? So that's the first step. Okay?
Yes, doctor.
All right. So how are we going to calculate the present value of the face value? We use the formula that we learned just now. All right, Amira? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, right? So you apply the same formula just now, Amira. So you just apply the present value. Oh, okay. Don't have space. Let me just use this, right? How to calculate the present value is the future value divided by 1 plus I to the power of n, right? All right. So what is the future value, Amira?
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. Okay. Divided by 1 plus, how much is the interest rate given here?
0.505.
Yeah, 0.05, 5%, right?
Okay.
How much is n?
10.
Yeah, 10, right? So Amira, you keluarkan your calculator and then you press. How much you get?
0.05. So 1,000 bagi dengan I do not know whether I kira betul ke because I'm using
No,
handphone.
yeah. Better to have a calculator, Amira, during the exam will be faster.
Okay, so 1,000 95.24.
95 point. No.
600.
Yeah.
613.
Okay. They
91.
Yeah. Who mentioned that? That was the right answer. So it's like this, Amira. First, when you want to press the calculator, if you want to solve this equation, if I would, this is my way. So my way is that I'll always solve the down here first. The what we call as this, the denominator first. So you press your calculator, 1 plus 0.05. All right, you get the answer, which is 1.05, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not sure because you're using your phone, but if you use calculator, you can have the power here.
So I need a scientific calculator actually.
No. There's just a normal calculator also can.
Calculator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the power of 10, right?
Okay.
So the power of 10 here means that you're going to times 1.05, 1.05, 1.05, 10 times, Amira. So but kalau if you use the calculator, so you can use this sign, the power sign.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, the power sign, how much you get? Anyone who have the calculator, 1.628 blah blah blah, right? So now you divide the 1,000 with 1.628 blah 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 blah, right? That's how much you got just now, Bailo? How much you got? Bailo or Kutaiba?
613.
Yeah, 600.
13.91.
13 point, yeah, from $0.91, right? Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to send the calculator, Amira, the how it looks like. It's like the calculator that we use during high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Scientific calculator lah tu.
no, scientific calculator more advanced. Or we call it scientific calculator. Oh yeah. That's we call it scientific calculator. Sorry. Yeah, the one okay. So that's the scientific calculator. All right. Yeah, you need to find the scientific calculator.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so that's why you see now, right? We know that the 1,000 that we're going to receive in the future after 10 years is actually worth $613 at the present day, right? Because of the discounting process that we have discussed just now, right? Always remember $1 today will be worth more than $1 tomorrow, right? Okay, so that's the first component. Am I right?
Yes.
So that's the first component. Remember, you still have the second component of the cash flow that you're going to receive. What is this? This is the coupon interest that you're going to receive for every year.
Doctor, it stopped sharing.
Oh, I'm start sharing. Okay, sorry.
Doctor.
Oh, I stopped sharing. Okay. All right. Oh, so I need to share again.
So, doctor,
Yep. Munira. Yeah.
The 613 is the price of the bond?
Not yet. Munira. Because the 613 the 613 or 614 here is just the face value. Is the price or present value of the face value. We haven't yet to include the present value of the coupon payment.
Okay.
Right. So now this is what we are doing now. We're going to discount find the present value of the coupon payment first. Right?
Also,
okay.
where do we get the 0.05 days? Because
it's given. It will given. There will be information telling you how much is the interest rate. Right? Because if you don't have
question?
Yeah, of course it is in the question, right? In any mathematical formula, Monira, you cannot have two unknown.
Yeah.
You can only have one unknown. It's either you don't know the present value, or you don't know the future value, or you don't know the interest rate, right? If all must be given except one things that you want to find out, right? Otherwise you cannot find.
Because what is the 8% here?
8% here. Oh, okay, that's a good point as well. Don't confuse coupon rate with the interest rate.
Oh, okay, lain pula.
Lain. That's a different altogether. 8% is the coupon rate, right? Coupon rate that you will calculate on the face value. All right. Always remember, coupon rate must be calculated on the face value. Okay.
Okay.
Right. But the interest rate is the one that you're going to use in the equation just now that we have seen. This one, the equation of the
present value.
Right? Because you need to know how much is the present value. So the interest rate here is very important, right? Because at the end, the interest rate will determine the present value, right? The relationship is like this, right? What happens if the interest rate is going up? Anyone?
The present value will go low.
Yeah, will go down, right, Munira? Is the inverse relationship. You learn this, right? Right. Okay? And the other way around. If the interest rate is go down, right, meaning that the present value is much higher, right? So don't confuse yourself with these two things. It's totally two different things, right? Okay. All right. Mengeluh lah, Amira. Don't worry, you just follow the step. I mean, I'm not encouraging you to follow the step. I already explained to you the intuition, the motivation behind this, right? But for you to calculate the price, you have to follow these two things, right? To calculate the pricing of bond, you have to remember that bond always, the payment of for the bond always have two components. The first component is the face value component. This is very familiar for you, right? We have seen this now. And then the second component is the coupon component, right?
So
Okay.
if
Yeah.
the you give a calculation question, and then
Yeah.
I answer it with a correct formula, but incorrect answer, do I still get a mark for it?
No, you will not get the mark entirely.
Or
No, I'm joking. No, of course you'll get mark. You'll get mark. And question and answer does not matter to me, right? The important part is that you show your what the working solution, right? I mean, I'm not gonna penalize if you give a wrong answer. Don't worry. I don't even look at the final answer. The final question. Show me the calculation, then I'll be happy, right? To show your understanding, right? Okay, all right.
method.
Okay, all right. So now we're going to discount the future coupon payment, right? So I mentioned earlier that every year you're going to receive 8 ringgit as a coupon, as a profit for you as an investors, right? So what you're going to do is that is going to be the same, right? Meaning that at the first year, how you're going to calculate the interest rate for the present. So now the task is you're going to calculate the present value of coupon, right? You know that the coupon is how much? 8% out of 1,000, right? Which is RM 80 ringgit. Okay, right. So now you have 80 ringgit, and until year 10, you're going to receive this is year 1, going to receive the coupon payment, right? So your task now is that you're going to discount this one by one. Am I right? Until present to the present day, right? How are we going to discount this, right? For the first year, right? We're going to divide the 80 ringgit with 1 plus 0.05 to the power of n. Quickly give me the answer. How much? Anyone? I'm too lazy to press my calculator. But anyway, you guys don't give the answer that I may just press. Berapa, Munira? How much you got? Sorry, Amira. Or you still haven't got your calculator yet?
76.
76.
Yeah, 76.19, right? So you have to do for the next one as well, right? Year 2, 80 divided by 1 plus 0.05 to the power of 2. How much, Munira or Bailo or anyone else?
72.56.
Sorry, how much?
72.56.
72.56. Yeah. 0.56, huh? All right. So you're going to do this until year 10. Right? But don't worry, in the exam, I won't ask you to do this much, right? Until year 10. That's too much for you to handle, right?
So Dr. Now how about the face value, present value of the face value? How about that 613?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue, right? So so now we need to find the summation, right? You already find the present value of coupon for every year, right? Throughout this process here. Can you see the process here, right? So you need to sum all this amount. You have to add them, right? How much? You get X amount here, right? You have to plus, you have to do the summation, right? And then you have to add with the $600, $614 of the present value of the face value, right? Then you get the price of the bond. Okay, so answer your question, who's just now? Mahmoud, right?
Yeah, okay, I got it.
You got it right now. So you have to sum. First, find the summation of the present value of the coupon from year 0 until year 10 or year maturity, right? This is the summation. And then you plus with the present value of the face value just now that you got 600 over, right? And then you got the answer. So that's how you calculate the bond price. I mean, coupon bond price. I mean, bond with coupon price. Any question about the step?
Sir, I right now I'm confused.
Okay.
Coupon coupon bond with the, like Munira asked tadi, coupon
Mm.
bond and the interest is different.
Mm.
So basically, bukan ke kalau if coupon
Mm.
means that we get discount at when we buy the bond. For example,
Yeah.
the
Give an example. Yeah.
the face, for example, the bond, the face value of the bond is 1,000 for after
Okay.
10 years. So
Mm.
I have to pay 800.
Mm. Betul. Yeah.
That is the coupon
Mm.
bond kan?
Yeah. So it's like this. Amira. Okay. Let me just use this. Okay. Okay. Now we know that yang $800 tu you understand. You understand how much
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
face value, right? So this is basically the present value of how much is now? 1,000 in the next 10 years, right? Okay. Right. So that's the first component. When you buy a bond, you are entitled to receive $1,000 after 10 years, right?
Okay.
This is the first job done, right?
Alright.
The second part, the second component is that you as an investors, you can imagine, right? Let's say you buy the bond at certain amount, let's say as the X amount, right?
Okay.
So after the next 10 years, every year, the bond issuer have to pay you the interest,
Okay.
right? But this is not the interest that we use to calculate the formula here. But this is the coupon. Interest is just a term. Interest is that the income for you, interest income as an investors. But what we are talking here is actually the coupon,
Okay.
8%, right? So the bond issuer promise you, bila you beli their bond, they will pay you 8% out of
Face
1,000,
value.
yeah, face value. So how much is this? Is the 80 ringgit, right?
Okay.
So you're going to, yeah.
The 8% is not compounding, right? I mean,
Yeah. My screen is off. Eh?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was showing the. Sorry.
the 80 ringgit is
Yeah, this one. It's still not there. The
No.
screen. Let me try again. Okay. All right. You can see this. Okay. Okay. What is it? Come again, Munira?
the 8% here is not compounding, right? So we can just ignore it.
No. It's not. What do you mean? It's not compounding?
I mean, the amount, the 80 ringgit is a fixed amount for the entire 10 years.
Yeah. It's a fixed amount for the entire. That's why we call it as a fixed income. Monira. Usually people call bond as a fixed income instrument. Why? Because of this reason. Because when you purchase the bond, when the bond or when the company issue the bond to you, they already specify this in advance, meaning that the rate will be there forever, 8% until the maturity.
Okay, so you don't have to include that in our calculation of finding the present value, right?
No, because you already calculate the coupon.
That
The
is-
objective of 8% is to calculate the coupon payment. Coupon payment here is actually the future cash flow that I mentioned just now, right? Because then you need to discount the future cash flow to the present day, right? To find the present value. So this is the second part just now, Amira, right? When you need to find the present value of coupon, let's say at year one, right? 80 ringgit divided by 1 plus the interest rate just now, 0.05 to the power of 1. Then you ada benda ni forever for 10 years, right? You have to do the same thing. Then you need to sum, you have to plus all of them together, right? So this is the sign, right? The summation sign here. You have to sum, and then you got the present, present value of coupon, right? Then you have to add with the present value of the face value. Then you got how much is the bond price.
So, doctor, this interest rate, who will give it to us? Like how can we get it? Like
Okay, all right.
is it the issuer?
Okay, a good
or the-
question. All right. To answer your question, let's play a game, right? Okay. Okay, before that, before to answer Bilo question just now, although it's a bit extended from our discussion, but I will answer the question. But before that, is it okay with the calculation so far? Is it clear, Amira?
Clear.
Okay. So to help you with the calculation, Amira, try refer to this slide and then play around. Give yourself a time. Let's say you change the interest rate, right? You change the interest rate. My mind lah. I mean, you change the interest. What if the interest rate is 4% and then you do the calculation? But you don't have to do for 10 years lah. Make it short. Let's say 4 years. 4 years, and then the face value you tukar. You change to 2,000 ringgit, and then you find it's just like a self exercise. But you follow the same procedure.
Oh, noted.
Yeah. Then you know how. I mean, you get the idea. If you don't still if you are confused with the calculation, and then just let me know. Right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. To answer the question just now, who asked just now? Bilo, right? Okay. Let's to answer the question. So I'm before that, I'll give you an open statement, right? So pricing of a bond is basically determined by a market force. What I mean by market force is that there's always supply and demand for the respective bond, right? So the price will be determined by the supply and demand in the market, right? So meaning that the higher the demand for the for that particular bond, so mean what happened? The price of the bond will be expensive, right? For example, if you buy a bond from, let's say, Apple versus the bond that issued by Sapura, for example, which one is going to be priced at higher price?
Apple.
Apple, right? Why? Anyone can give an answer?
Because the demand for it is higher.
Yeah. Why demand is higher? Because I know that Apple is a good paymaster. It's a big corporation. The likelihood of Apple is going to be defaulted is very minimal, is very low, right? So people in the market, you can imagine, there's a million, if not a million, it's 100 million of them are chasing the same bond issued by Apple, right? So the demand for bond for Apple is very high compared to the bond issued by Sapura, right? Sapura is just a local company and is going to have a difficulty now in terms of the market price, right? So of course the bond issued by Apple will be priced at a higher price compared to the one that issued by Sapura. So you can see that is a market factor, right? Supply again is all about supply and demand, right? The same thing as when you want to determine the value of the money, it's all about supply and demand, right? The higher the demand for that particular currency, the stronger the value is, right? So the problem now that we are facing after COVID-19 is that people are demanding less to our ringgit, right? To our money. That's why we see that the money is depreciating across as compared to foreign currency. All right. Coming back to the question just now, let's play an auction game. I call it as an auction game, right? So let's say I tell you that I have one financial instrument. Okay, let's call it a bond, right? Let's say in the present day, right? So I just give you a simulation how the interest rate is determined, right? Okay, let me just find a space, right? So this is just a simple simulation through an auction game, right? So let's say I'm the one who going to auction my bond. You guys are the potential bidder, right? Or potential buyer of the bond, right? So let's say now we are in the auction, right? You know the auction, right? People are, offering the price, bid for, and then they bid the price. If the match with the demand, then if we match with if anyone offer or the highest price will get basically the item, right? So let's say at the present day, right? I have a bond, right? That will give a value, right? A value that will give a return together. I mean, both coupon and also the face value of, let's say, 5,000, right? In the next 2 years, for example, right? So now I'm selling this financial instrument, this bond, to you guys, right? All right. So the lowest price that I will accept from the potential bidder, let's start the auction from 4,000, right? So you give me an offer now, right? Anyone would like to offer me a 4,000 in order to receive 5,000 return in the next 2 years. Anyone would want to submit the offer now? Anyone? Let's play the auction game. Just give.
Mira.
Okay, Monira go for 4,000. All right. Can I have 4.1K? Anyone would like to bid Monira's offer?
Yes, doctor.
So Kutaiba 4.1K, right? Can I get a higher 4.2K? Anyone?
Me.
4.2? Aminra go 4.2, right? Clock time is ticking, right? Can I get higher? 4.3? Anyone?
I go for 0.3.
4.3. You can submit more than one offer, right? 4.3. The highest now we got is 4.3. Anyone want to challenge Mahmoud price? 4.4? Anyone?
Mira.
Monira. Okay, Monira 4.4. All right. Okay. 4.5. Remember, you have to wait for 2 years to get 5K, 5,000. Both in terms of the coupon and also the face value, because we are talking about bond. 4.5K. Anyone would like to purchase this bond from me? Monira? Or that's the highest you can go. 4.1.
Yes.
1.
3.
I would go for 4.5.
Okay, buy low 4.5. Anyone 4.6? Anyone? 4.6. 4.63. 4.62. 4.61. So that's it. The highest you guys, who offered the highest is now? Buy low. Buy low offer 4.6, right? Okay, sold. So now I closed the auction because the highest that we offered to me is 4.6. So now I sold the bond to buy low for 4.6K, right? At the present, right? So meaning that when I sell the 4.6 for 4.6K, then buy low have to wait for 2 years, and then he will receive 5K. So the difference 0.4K is actually the profit for buy low, right? Okay, so let's put this way. So now the question is that how much is the interest rate now? Because remember I told you, right? The interest rate is determined by market force, buying and selling bond or any financial instrument, right? So we can put this in the equation again, right? So we can use this equation, right? 1 plus n. So now through the market force that we are doing just now in the auction game, we are able to know the interest rate, right? Let me show you, right? So how much is the present value? Present value, because Bailo agreed to pay me 4.6K, right? And then after 2 years, Bailo is going to receive 5K, right? And then 1 plus interest rate to the power of 2, right? So can I find the I now, the interest rate?
Yes.
Munira, right? I can find the I, right? So if you press your calculator, you get the I. How much is the I? Let's do it, right? 4.6. Sorry. Yeah. So we can 1 plus I to the power of 2, 5 divided by 4.6, right? If you solve the equation 1, sorry, you don't have to do this. I just want to show how the interest rate is determined, right? Square root of 5.4.6, right? 5 divided by 4.6 to the power. So you got how much, Munira? Can you solve? I equal to 1.0425 to minus 0.1. You got the interest rate is about 4.25%. Okay? So that's 4.25% is what? Is the profit. Is the profit percentage that is going to be enjoyed by Bailo, because he agreed to wait for the next 2 years in order to receive a larger amount, which is 5K. So that's the difference. 0.4K is actually the returns or the compensation for Bailo, because he now are willing to wait for the next 2 years. I'm too eager. I cannot wait for another 2 years. I want to sell the bond immediately for 4K, right? So if we were to wait for another 2 years, I will get the 5%, right? So this is just a simulation of a small group of a market. So together, just now, when we play the auction game, we are actually the financial markets, right? That's how the financial market works. It's basically an auction game, right? Where the price of the financial instrument is determined by the buy and sell, right? The demand and supply of financial instrument. So that's how you determine the market interest rate. So don't confuse with the coupon interest rate as coupon rate. Coupon rate is a different because it's a fixed amount, right? So the interest rate is actually determine the worthiness or the value of your financial instrument.
So Dr. the coupon rate helps us to get the payments, right? The yearly payments of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So that's just a simple illustration of how the interest rate is determined in the markets. Right? Okay. Did I answer your question, Bailo?
Yes, Doctor.
About the how the interest rate is determined?
Yes.
You can see the example here, right? Okay. I think that's all. We just stop here, right? You can do the exercise by yourself, right? Hopefully you get the clear picture. So, but don't worry, the calculation question about bond price is just a small percentage, right? Focus more on the theory part and the understanding part. They're worth more question. So the section will be divided into two. My section, and then Madam Zaria section, right? So that's it, right? Any question that you want to ask? Is it okay, Amira, so far? I mean, did I help you in terms of the calculation that you worry?
Yes,
Before?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
right. So you have to practice, Amira. Otherwise you will not get the understanding. Right?
All right.
Okay. I think that's all. It's already 9 o'clock. It's a long day for me. So I'll stop here. If you don't have any question, let me just stop the recording. All the best for the
Okay.
final exam.